there, it's Stacy Lamonaco, and I've been having a lot of folks ask me about life in Cape Coral because they're thinking about relocating here. So I thought I'd put together this video to explain it from my perspective. I do not work for the city of Cape Coral, just FYI. I am the chairperson for the South Cape CRA. It's the Community Redevelopment Agency, but it's a volunteer position. I do not get paid. So I just love Cape Coral that much that I am super happy to tell anything I know to anybody that'll listen to me. So one of the questions I have are, what are the good neighborhoods? What are the bad neighborhoods? We really don't have bad neighborhoods here per se. We have older neighborhoods and newer neighborhoods and more expensive neighborhoods, but really we don't have bad neighborhoods. The oldest part of the Cape Coral is sectioned into 4 quadrants. There's the southeast section, southwest, northeast, and northwest. The southeast section is the oldest section of town. That was where Cape Coral basically was started. There are older houses there. There are older condos and older apartment buildings, very small apartment buildings. But that is the hub of our entertainment district as well. That's where all the bars and restaurants are for the most part. 47th Terrace, it has been streetscaped where it's beautiful pavers and lights, and it's really cool. So if you get a chance, go down to 47th Terrace and check out the bars and restaurants there. But that is the oldest part of town. Then there's the Southwest, which is considered the most desirable part of town to live in. They have newer houses, older houses, more expensive houses. And then northeast and northwest areas of town are the newer areas of town, but they're also a little bit farther removed. Those are usually north of Pine Island Road. There are bridges that take you from, because we're on a peninsula, so there are bridges that take you across the water into town. There are 3 different bridges that we have in Cape Coral. I'll start south. South is Cape Coral Parkway. Cape Coral Parkway goes into Fort Myers and turns into College Parkway. Then we have the Midpoint Bridge, which is veterans on our side of the bridge. And then when you go across town, then that is Colonial Boulevard into Fort Myers. And then we have the North Bridge, which if you take Hancock Bridge Parkway all the way into North Fort Myers, that takes you on the Edison Bridge, and that will take you actually downtown Fort Myers. So you actually have to pretty much take a bridge to get over to Fort Myers. There are, the quadrants again are sectioned in northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. And there's pretty much a bridge in each quadrant. The northeast and northwest have water and sewer coming in. So Cape Coral is only a 50-year-old city. So we're still working on getting our infrastructure in place. So in some of those parts of northeast, northwest, you might be on well and septic instead of water and sewer. You will want to talk to your realtor if you're looking to buy a house about the assessments. So that's the buzzword. You want to find out if they're already paid. If they're already paid, then great. If they're not already paid, you may have to assume it. It's very common. And there might not be a timeline for you to get water and sewer yet because the city of Cape Coral the utility project hasn't gotten there yet. So that's something that you might want to make sure that you consider when you are looking to purchase a house in the northeast or northwest quadrants. Southeast and southwest are pretty much already done, but you may still have to assume assessments. There are main corridors, there's main roads in town. The Cape Coral Parkway, Veterans, Hancock Bridge Parkway, and Pine Island Road, they run east and west. Chiquita, Skyline, Santa Barbara, and Del Prado run north and south. And those are pretty much our main roads. And we have some other roads too, but those are pretty much our main roads taking us through town. People have asked me about schools. So we have a great school district here. Lee County School District School District of Lee County is our public school district. And I believe if you go to leeschools.net, you can check out the rankings for our elementary, middle, and high school. We also have a charter school that the city of Cape Coral runs. It's Oasis Charter School, so you can check into that. And I believe if you go to capecoral.net, you should be able to find some information on charter schools. And basically capecoral.net is the city's website. You can go there for pretty much any information you're looking for. There are really no bad schools in Cape Coral. Again, people are asking about schools. The one thing I will tell you is that there's not neighborhood schools like there were up north. We have what's called school choice, and it's a little bit different because you may go to a completely different school than your across the street neighbor. The school district is sectioned into East Zone, West Zone, North Zone, South Zone, I'm not even sure. I just know mine's West Zone. The schools are ranked. So when you go to school choice office, if you have school-age children, if you're in West Zone, then they list all the schools that are in the West Zone, and then you rank them in order in which you want your child to attend. They will give proximity preferential treatment, because if you live closer to the school, I think within 2 miles, then they will give you proximity treatment, and that will allow you to possibly go to a school that's closer to your house. Now, my son is 16, he goes to Cape Coral High School. He literally rides his bike there every day because we're so close. They also give preferential treatment to siblings. So if you have a sibling that already goes to that school or is going to be going to that school, then they try to keep the kids in the same school. So that helps a little bit. But you don't necessarily go to the school that's in your neighborhood. So that's something completely different than when we were going to school up north. So there are lots of things for kids to do here. There's Sunsplash, it's our water park. It's run by school-age children, so, school-age high schoolers. So they're only open from like March to September when the kids are out of school. There's Gator Mike's, which is putt-putt and zip lining and go-karts and stuff like that. There's a farmer's market. There are parks. We just signed a $60 million go bond that was voted by the voters in Cape Coral, and that is going to allow the Cape Coral representatives to put lots of new parks and lots of new playgrounds in place and have lots of open space, and it's really cool. So if you go to capecoral.net, you can check on the $60 million go bond and kind of what the Parks and Rec envision those parks to look like. Most of the Midwesterners are on our coast of Florida and in Cape Coral specifically. So I relocated down here 21 years ago from Indiana. I'm from Marion. It's about halfway between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis. And it seems like all the Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, most of the Midwesterners have come down to this coast of Florida and Cape Coral specifically. And then it seems like all the folks from the East Coast of the United States have gone to the Miami side on the East Coast. We have lots of great Midwesterners here, so that's kind of a cool vibe too. Not that we don't love you East Coasters, but we kind of have a kinship. As far as crime goes, we're one of the safest cities in all of Florida, which is really cool. We have an awesome police department. I think we're either 2 or 5. I don't know. We're in the top 5 of the safest cities in Florida. I've raised my kids here. My daughter's 21, my son is 16 in high school. My bonus kids are 25, and they were born and raised here as well. We have boating. Now we have 400 miles of canals, and it's truly one of the best boating communities in all of the United States. There are differences though. So if you're a big boater, you're gonna wanna make sure that is it gonna be freshwater? Is it going to be saltwater? Are you gonna be able to get out into the Gulf of Mexico without having to go through some locks? Is it sailboat access? Because sometimes it's a regular boat access, but a sailboat can't fit through if they have to go through a lock. So there's some differences that you want to check on if you're a boater and you're looking to purchase a house. You don't want to get stuck with this gorgeous house with water access that you can't take your sailboat out on. So that's something to check in as well with your realtor, because there's water access that really doesn't go to anywhere. It just goes through canals and through some lakes and stuff, and that's cool too. But if you're looking to actually have Gulf access, then there's some different things that you need to look through. And I think that pretty much wraps up all the questions that people have asked me. If you have anything specifically you want to ask me, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I am a mortgage lender locally, and so if you are looking to purchase a house down here, I'm happy to get you pre-approved. I do have some realtor partners that I work with that are experts on the area, that if you don't have a realtor already in place, I'd be happy to point you in the right direction. And again, if you have any more questions, my telephone number is 239-634-7362, and I'd be happy to help. Good luck and happy relocation.